Zoom and boom, everyone. We're live reporting from the frozen north with this polar vortex. You can blame the Cloudsdale Weather Factory for that. Apparently, they think it's perfect for this time of year. No. Winter can blow, okay? In that regard, it can. But we are striving, we are surviving. Spiky Dash here with you. It is 7 o'clock on the East Coast on the 30th day of January, and we are live. Guys, a lot to talk about on this show. This is a loaded show, a lot of topics to discuss. First and foremost, again, I want to say a big thank you to, and I just checked the numbers for the stream, now well over 200 of you, 200 views. I don't know if that's 200 people, but 200 plus views on my videos from All-Star Weekend this past weekend with the skills competition and the All-Star Game live stream. So thank you so much, guys, for that. And I saw the likes, and there were a couple of you that disliked, and that's okay. You know, I'm not judgy. Some people won't be a fan of that, and that's totally okay. But again, thank you to all of you who tuned in. I really appreciate that. That means so much to me. Thank you for that support. Speaking of support, I will make this plug to start this off as well, right away as well. As I'm sure if you guys follow me on Twitter, you guys have noticed that over the couple days ago, I started a GoFundMe account for my best friend and his wife, and trying to raise a little bit of money to get their sponsorships paid for Winning City 2019. I haven't gotten any donations yet, but I'm really hoping that you guys see this, click on it. If you can give anything, any help would be appreciated. If you can't, spread the word to others that can. I provided a link to the GoFundMe in the description down below. So anything would be appreciated. The goal again is to try to at least get them the amount where I can at least get them, Earth level sponsorships. But if we get above that, it would be great if that would happen. So again, the link to the GoFundMe is in the description down below. Because we've been, all three of us have been kind of hit by a few financial struggles. Nothing like dire, but just where we're behind a little bit, and we just could really use any help that we could get to make this happen. We love Winning City. It's our home. It's our home convention, the closest thing to a home convention we have. We support it, and we support it now for the past 2 years now, going into the third. And we we really enjoy it. We enjoy it every year, and we would just love to continue to support it as long as it sticks around. So guys, anything you can do to help us out or spread the word to make it happen, spread the word to those that in the fandom that could provide us some help would be very much appreciated. So again, link down below. There's a link also on my Twitter, again at Chris_Spiky- in Twitter. So check that out as well. There's also on my Facebook page. Any help you can give, guys, it'd be very much appreciated. Whether you can donate yourself or you can share it and spread the word, it'd be very much appreciated. So thank you, guys. I had to throw it out there to start because like I said, any help with support we can get would be very much appreciative. So we, all of us are trying to survive this polar vortex. I am in full. Again, I'm in full. Normally, I'd wear my new Wonderbolt shirt for this stream, but I know I am in full. I got a long sleeve underneath my jersey. I'm full lightning gear, not just because it's warm, but for the game tonight. Like I said, I'm literally full lightning gear, guys. I'm in full because I'm just trying my darndest to stay warm. It is record-breaking temps outside. This is a cold that we have not seen in decades, probably since the 80s, probably before I was born. If that tells you how old I am. I'm 32, by the way. It's crazy, guys. And thankfully, though, I tweeted about this. I thankfully had the presence of mind to go to AutoZone on Monday, and this was actually, it was actually snowing pretty well on Monday. It was my day off on Monday, the only day off I have this week, actually. So I figured I'd take it there to get the excuse me, the bad. Oh my goodness. I think I need caffeine more than I think. I was going to get the battery looked at just to make sure, that I wasn't going to have any issues when the cold snap came in from last night into Thursday. Well, sure enough, AutoZone, which does free battery testing, they tested it, and sure enough, that battery in it was bad. And I would have had no way of knowing that because the car started fine, ever since I'd gotten it from my mom. So actually, which was this time last year. But mom has had that car for a while, so I can understand why we're getting up there in age since 2013, and she got it like brand spanking new. So it's been a good 5-6 years. So I can understand why that battery is getting up there in age. Usually the lifetime of batteries is a good 4 to 5 years. So that being said, I figured, you know what? I'm not going to take the chance. I'm not going to the same mistake that I made last winter. I'm going to put a new battery in it and just go for it. Well, thankfully, at least today was the day that worried me the most. Today was, going to be the worst of it in terms of the overnight temperatures leading into this morning. Everything was canceling across our area this morning. But even though we're under an orange travel watch here in my county and most of northern Indiana, actually, except for one county, which is Jasper County, which is actually under a warning. But every other county, mostly in northern Indiana, is under an orange travel watch, which means essential travel only, to and from work, and emergencies only. But I made it to work safe this morning. Car fired up good, and then fired up after I got off work, thankfully. So was able to get a couple things for around the house. Got more drinks. Got some RCs and a couple pizzas for the freezer. So I'm good for these next couple days. It's just a matter of getting through it at this point. So we're gonna get through. I've lived here in Indiana all my life. I've been through cold snaps, floods, bad weather, severe storms. I mean, even though I'm deathly afraid of them, I've been through all of that. Pretty sure when I was young, I slept through a tornado. I'm pretty sure I did. So I've been through a lot in living in this state, and the weather here can be very crazy. I mean, for example, once we get through this cold snap, it's going to start warming up again this weekend in the 40s and 50s for a brief time. So, the saying here in Indiana is, if you don't like the weather, wait a day. And I think literally that's the case. So yeah, just trying to get past it. But yeah, in some respects, winter can definitely blow. But aside from surviving the vortex, a lot of other things to discuss. So let's start with, I know I talked about life a little bit. We'll save that for later. Let's talk about Sunday, about this coming weekend. Let's talk a little bit of Super Bowl Sunday. I am very much looking forward to this game. Of course, I look forward to Super Bowl every year, no matter who's in it, because I get to host the party every year. We've already made, Nate and Sarah and I have already made kind of plans for what we're going to do food-wise and everything. And again, stream. What we're going to do this year, a little bit different from last year, because, last year with the length of the stream, like the 4-hour long, and the fact that with the halftime show, there's kind of like, copyright thing. But we're going to split it in halves. So we're going to have a stream for the first half, and we're going to have a stream for the second half of the game. We're not going to include the halftime show in it. So that will start probably around the 4:30 window on Sunday when the stream will start. Kickoff of the game is at 6:30. It's on CBS. We'll have it on the TV. Of course, can't show it on here because, again, copyright. But we'll have commentary throughout what's going on. I'm hoping that by the time Sunday rolls around, I'll have my custom Rams jersey with Rampage's name and number on the back of the mascot of the Rams. Because right now the mail has actually not delivered here. It didn't deliver today, and they're already saying it's not going to deliver tomorrow. So I'm getting actually kind of worried that I won't have it in time for Sunday. We'll see. We'll see what's going on. But, time will tell. If I get it, great. If not, I'll wear something blue and yellow. So, because they're wearing their throwback uniforms. So, but I'm looking forward to this game. This, with the Patriots and the Rams, of course, it's, for the AFC, New England, go figure. It's kind of becoming like, it's a dynasty, but it's kind of becoming like a tired act. This is like their 9th time in 18 years being in this game. They have just looked so impressive in the postseason. It's like they played a whole nother level. Everyone thinks in regular season, they're not the same team. The dynasty's going to end. They're looking rough in some areas, and then they just go out in the postseason and prove everyone wrong. And they blew the doors off the Chargers like they usually have. And then Kansas City, don't get me wrong, Kansas City played a great game in tough weather conditions. It was one of the coldest games in years. And they played a really solid game, but New England found a way. They found a way to win. They won the coin toss in overtime. They got the ball first and scored a touchdown, and that was it. And I knew once New England got the ball first, I knew they were going to find the end zone because that's what New England does. They find a way. And Kansas City's defense really got exposed. The defense that looked so impressive in shutting down the Colts 1 week ago. The problem was they didn't have the same pressure. They couldn't get to Tom Brady. They had no sacks in that game at all. And the key to beating Tom Brady is you have to get in his face, as the Eagles did last year. You have to pressure him. You have to force him into bad throws, force him into mistakes. And Kansas City definitely did not do that 2 weeks ago. So that's the key. But the thing about New England has so many weapons at their disposal, and that's going to be a big key for the Rams because the fact that New England, it's pick your poison with New England. If you key in, for example, on Julian Edelman, or if you key in on Rob Gronkowski, well, then they can beat you with the running game like they did against Kansas City with their 3-headed backfield. You've got Sony Michel out of the backfield, who has been outstanding in his rookie year. You've got James White, a pass-catching dual threat back, and you've also got Rex Burkhead, who for a long time was out, but now he's back, and he's been a main goal line stud, had 2 touchdowns, including the game winner against the Chiefs. So it's just been, so even you try to take away the run game. Brady has more weapons besides Edelman and Gronkowski. Philip Dorsett has actually come along quite nicely late. Cordero Patterson is getting more involved. So they have plenty of weapons at their disposal that can beat you and that can burn you. So that's always what worries me about the Patriots is they just have so many weapons that can make plays happen. So the key for the Rams to beat New England is that the front of the Rams, the front four of the Rams, mainly Aaron Donald and Ndamukong Suh and Dante Fowler, they have to get pressure on Tom Brady. They have to get past that strong Patriots front offensive line and force pressure on Brady, or they have to get in the backfield and shut down that run game. It's going to be critical. The battle is really going to be won in the trenches up front. If the Rams can not only create pressure, but then just bottle up that run game, it's then going to force Brady to throw. And then if they can get in the backfield and really put pressure on him and fluster that Patriots offense and not let that offense get in a rhythm, because that's always the bugaboo. If you let the Patriots offense get in a rhythm, no matter when it happens, you are in for a long day. Now, the Eagles last year even though the Patriots offense eventually did find its rhythm and made it a very high scoring game, the Eagles were able to not only keep up with that, but also really expose the Patriots defense, which really hasn't exactly been great in the postseason either. They've given up, 28 to the Chargers and 31 to Kansas City. So the Patriots defense is not exactly stout by any means. It can be beaten. It can be, it can be beaten. The Patriots defense is nothing special. The Patriots have won games in the postseason mainly with their offense. They are not known for a stout defense. So so for the Rams to win the game, it's going to be critical that their defense shuts down the run game and forces Tom Brady into mistakes and bad throws. And offensively for the Rams, they need to expose that Patriots defense. They need to find the holes. They need to figure out what the Chargers did late in that game to get points, or what Kansas City did throughout the game to get those opportunities. And and obviously a big question mark for the Rams is going to be the health of Todd Gurley. How is his knee? Isn't he even a question right now? Is that a big question mark going into this game? And if he is healthy and fine, then clearly he's going to be a big part of what the Rams are going to want to do. Same with C.J. Anderson. C.J. Anderson has been an absolutely outstanding get for the Rams ever since they got him from Carolina. I still understand why Carolina even let him walk. I know you've got Christian McCaffrey, and don't get me wrong, he is a great running back and a great player in the NFL, but you've got to have at least a good complementary back, because you can't let one guy be the workhorse sometimes. Sometimes if they can't handle a workload like that, and not saying McCaffrey can't, but sometimes it's like, what happens if he gets hurt? So you got to have at least a decent complementary back, and they had that in Anderson, and they let him walk away. And Anderson, he's not a bad back by any stretch, but I think he needed to land in the right situation. And maybe it wasn't in Carolina. Clearly it wasn't in Denver, because clearly he did not thrive in Denver. I'd called him a bust for a long time, as you guys have probably seen on the old FFSR shows. I called C.J. Anderson a bust because he was just and again, so maybe it boils down to he wasn't in the right situation. Well, clearly he is now landing in the right situation here with the LA Rams, because of the fact that he is a great complement to Todd Gurley. While Todd Gurley is kind of your speedy, shifty back, C.J. Anderson is your ground and pound, push it through the line, get it through. He's just beastly when he goes on these runs. And it's nice that the Rams have that. So, running game wise, these two teams are pretty even. You've got three solid weapons for New England, of course, with White, with Michelle, White, and Burkhead. But you've also got two really good weapons for the Rams with Gurley and Anderson. So I'm not worried about the running games in this game at all. I think, so it's going to be, again, it's going to be the defense that shows up to shut down whose running game is going to be critical. What worries me for the Rams and where they really need to get going, talking about exposing that Patriots defense, Jared Goff has to make throws. He has to be on target with his receiving core. And the Rams receiving core is what worries me as well, because the Rams receiving core, I'm sorry, it's not at the same talent level as the Patriots. Now, granted, the Patriots, outside of Edelman, really, and Gronk, obviously, even though he's more of a tight end, even though outside of them, they don't really have any other studs on their roster, Tom Brady gets a lot out of those guys because he's Tom Brady. He makes them look really good. I don't know if Jared Goff can do the same thing. Obviously Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods are really his two best options. It sucks that they lost Cooper Kupp for the year due to that torn ACL. That obviously was a huge loss for the Rams, and that really sucked. But actually, if you think about it, Josh Reynolds has filled in really nicely as a third receiver. They're getting good work out of their tight ends, Tyler Higbee, Gerald Everett. They've done some nice things. So it's going to be critical for the Rams receivers to make big plays and get big yardage. You can't dink and dunk on the Patriots. You really can't, as the Eagles showed us last year. You have to make big plays. You have to be consistent. How did Nick Foles kill the Patriots last year? Well, he gave him a lot of Zach Ertz. I know that for a fact. He gave him a lot of Zach Ertz. He gave him a lot of when Jordan Matthews was there, and I don't think Jeffrey was there yet. His proven guys. He targeted his proven guys. Aguilar had a little bit of impact. But Nick Foles knew who to throw to beat the Patriots. Jared Goff has to do the same thing. He has to go to his proven guys, the guys he can rely on that can run good routes, find those holes in the defense, in the secondary, and all that, and make big plays. You have to do that against the Patriots in order to have success. So at the end of the day, here's the thing. The fan in me, like the rooting for me, like the rooting side of me, the fan in me, the fact that I just can't stand the Patriots to any aspect. Obviously during the stream, obviously during the game, I will obviously be rooting like heck for the Rams. You guys know that. But the journalistic side of me, says that this feels, I don't want to say one-sided, but it kind of does. Because again, I just feel like the Patriots have been so good this postseason. The Patriots, dominated the Chargers. They're up 35-0 at half. No other team can say that. And then the Chiefs game, it was back and forth, but it's the Chiefs at home, which is to be expected. They just found a way to win that game because they always find a way, it seems. And the Patriots, after falling short last year, are really going to be gung-ho to not let that happen 2 years in a row. Tom Brady's played up this underdog role all postseason long, saying, fans think we suck and we can't win any games and we're still here with a chant and all that. They're going to play up every single angle, every single motivation factor they can to try to win this thing. And they own the Rams in the Super Bowl, if you're not aware. The Patriots have beaten the Rams. The Patriots beat the Rams last meeting, before. So they know that. The Rams never won a Super Bowl in L.A. They lost it the only time in St. Louis, except for 2000. Just a lot of factors seem to be going against the Rams here. So obviously, I'm going to be rooting for the Rams. Do I think they're going to win at the end of the day? No. I think it's going to be a close game. Don't get me wrong. I think it's going to be close. I don't expect a blowout in this game. But I think again, New England finds a way. I think I have them winning like 34-31 or 35-31, something close like that. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game because again, I think these offenses are both really good, and they're going to find a way to expose the other. Because the Rams' defense, if you really think about it, hasn't been really impressive either. They've had to, they've won 2 close games in this postseason. They only beat Dallas by 8, and then of course the Saints game, which was nuts, and beat them by 3 in overtime. So it's just a matter of is the luck going to run out against one of the best teams of the last 2 decades? So, we shall see. Of course, again, obviously, I want the Rams to win, obviously. But at the end of the day, do I think they're going to do it against a very motivated team looking to, redeem themselves from last year with a lot of weapons and a lot of talent, and the fact that they want to shake off this fact that the dynasty's dying? I don't see it. I really don't. I dread it, but I just have a feeling that New England's going to win a very close game. But we shall see. We shall see on Sunday. I was rooting for Philly last year, but did I think they were going to pull out the end of the day the way they did? No. So if the Rams can surprise me again when rooting for them, hey, I'm all for that. So Super Bowl stream again Sunday, kicking off starting around 4:30 Eastern time, live from the party here. We will have again commentary, fun times. Of course, we'll have food, we'll have drink here, so we'll talk about the game throughout, what's going on. We'll have a first half stream, and we'll have a second half, kind of a pre-game / first half stream, and then we'll have a second half stream. So that's how it's going to work. So we don't throw in the halftime show. So we'll watch the halftime show, obviously, but we're not going to include it in the stream for obvious reasons. So that is how it's going to work out. All right. Moving on. A thought. We'll talk about MLP for a bit. We'll talk ponies here for a bit. That was sports. Now on to ponies for a bit. Besides the GoFundMe. I recently watched a video from one of the fellow reviewers in the fandom. I'm sure you guys know about Misanthropony, or Map as he's known. Does a great job with reviewing episodes after the episodes air, and does different talks videos. And recently he had a video talking about the I think it was like the maybe the reasons why season 8 was so bad, why season 8 was like not a really good season, or 10 ways it could have been better. And I mentioned that too. I had a similar video to that, or similar list to that, on one of my previous ATSD streams. But he basically made a lot of good points in the video, and I agreed with a lot of them. I tweeted back and him explained that the reason I felt like why season 8 was so bad was the fact, not bad, but just generally just brought down by the fact that there were a lot of great episodes. Don't get me wrong, but it was just dragged down by the average and the bad episodes. That was the big problem with season 8. So. But he made one interesting point at the end that I really want to kind of discuss a bit, and maybe expand this a little bit. He mentioned that he wanted more. There should have been more focus on the student 6, and I could not agree more. At first, when they had this premise of the School of Friendship in the season 8 premiere of School Days, I'm not saying I wasn't thrilled with the idea. I wasn't like against it or anything, but I had read like in different posts on Equestria Daily and all that stuff that there were maybe some kind of dark things behind this. Like there was people that really didn't think that they would be okay with the direction that this was going in. But as the season went on, though, even though they weren't used in a whole lot of episodes, they were only highlighting like 5 or 6 episodes, but I really started to like these characters. I really grew attached to the students, and not to discredit anything from the main 6 or Starlight. Don't get me wrong, because they're still great, but I started to really connect with these characters and like them, and wanted to learn more about them. And Matt mentioned, I didn't feel like we got that enough. I mean, we got a few things about backstories on each of them a little bit. We know a little bit about them, but I don't think we know everything about them. So here's what I'm thinking, and it still remains to be seen as to whether or not they're going to have a major role in season 9. We don't know that for sure yet. We're hoping that that's the case. Obviously, at least I'm hoping that's the case. I can't speak for all of you, but I'm hoping that's the case, that there's more of an emphasis on them, especially after the finale, with School Rays, when they were, clearly tied to the elements in some way, or the artifacts, or the way you look at it. Here's an interesting thought. If they're not utilized in season 9, why not the Student 6 get their own spin-off in some way? Maybe not like Equestria Girls but at least their own stories, their own adventures. I think that'd be cool. Because like I said, we don't know everything about them. And honestly, I think there's certainly like an order or a hierarchy in which we know the least about one character and more about another. For example, I would say of those Student 6, the least we know about by far is Sambar. And the weird thing is he's already a pony, but it's aside from the one time that we saw, when I was watching Hearthstorming Club, and we finally tells a story, and we see his parents, I'm like, oh, finally we see them. Where were they in the premiere when everyone else's parents were there for Friends and Family Day? You know, like that confused the heck out of me, because it's like, you know, is there a reason why his parents aren't there? You know, it spun around in my mind, like, you know, why Sandbar's parents weren't there. And again, I understand maybe they were busy, jobs, what have you, but it was a mystery in my mind, like why Sandbar's parents weren't there. So I think we really don't know a whole lot, you know, aside from the fact that, you know, we know his personality traits, but I think we know that a lot about the Student 6 at this point. But aside from that, we really don't know a whole lot about Sandbar's past. So I think he's the least we know about. I would say second probably then is maybe. See, that's tough. It's tough to rate these because I got to think like what we already do know about them. I would say the most we know about probably now at this point is Yona, because we've seen so much of Yak Yakistan in the past in other episodes of Pinkie Pie. And of course, we saw Yona's story in Heartwarming Club, where she, you know, got her kind of like with the hair braiding and all that, and that was cool. But we've seen so much of Yak Yakistan before that I think we know a lot about her culture already. So it really wasn't a surprise, you know, when we heard her story. So I think Yona, we really know a lot about. We don't really need to dive too much more into Yona's past. You know, and we got the arachnophobia thing, which was neat. So, but we know a lot about Yona and her culture. So, let's see. Second least, then that we don't know. I think it's really a toss-up between maybe Gallus and Ocellus. Although we've seen a lot of the changelings, I would say probably Gallus is second. I mean, we know now that he's an orphan. We know. So we know now that he's, you know, that was a big revelation in Heartwarming Club, that Gallus is an orphan. That was huge in and of itself. And that he never had a place in Griffinstone, and he didn't really have anything close to friends or family until he met the students. So that was huge in and of itself. But I would think that there has to be more to Gallus's story. You know, and of course, again, we had the fear of tight spaces in Heartwarming Club. But again, we don't know how he got that fear. You know, we don't know how that came about. That really wasn't explained. So again, there's a lot, you know, there's a lot more I think about Gallus we need to know from that standpoint. I would say then that Ocellus is probably third on the list of, you know, characters that we really don't know a whole lot about them on the students. You know, we know how the changelings, you know, we've seen, of course, a lot with the changelings, and we've seen how they were under Queen Chrysalis and the invasion of the Crystal Empire, and then of course after that the transformation. After Chrysalis, you know, of course, tried to take over multiple times, but then the transformation after Thorax, you know, was there, and then that Spike, and they began their friendship. And then Thorax, you know, finally just decided, you know, unleash the love, and that destroyed Crystal's kingdom. And then Thorax started to lead the changelings. So we've seen a lot with the changelings, but we still don't know what Ocellus's role was in all of this. And again, and I mentioned this, I'm pretty sure when I reviewed Heartwarming Club, Ocellus, we saw her fear was she was fearful of her past, but then you notice she changes into Chrysalis, which makes you think, how close was she to the queen? If something had happened to Chrysalis, would she have been next in line to take over the throne? If you really think about it, you know, what would then, if Thorax had never even, you know, mentioned anything, if he never met Spike and anything like that, she maybe could have been next had Chrysalis either decided, you know, okay, I'm stepping down, or something happened to me, or I can't do this anymore. Maybe Ocellus would have been next in line. That needs to be expounded upon. I love Ocellus as a character. She's definitely one of my favorites as students, along with Smolder, as I've shown you guys with the necklace. But it's like, even if that was true, I don't think I would hate Ocellus for that reason. I don't think I could. I want to hear more of her story. I want to see, you know, the fact that she has changed so much, and, you know, for the greater good, and the fact that she, you know, but again, it really makes you wonder how close she was. I would say Silverstream is probably fourth, only because we've seen a lot of, well, I don't know about a lot, but we've seen the hippogriffs in the movie, so we know their history, we know where they came from. Actually, no, I reversed that. Silverstream would probably be fifth above Yona because again, we've seen the hippogriffs, we've seen their culture, we know about Mount Eris, we know about Sequestria down below, and we kind of know now, and we know Silverstream has family there with Terramar and everything like that from Survender Turf, and we know that Silverstream was very fearful of the Storm King and him potentially returning because that was her fear in or What Lies Beneath. I keep saying Heartswarming Club. I'm referencing the wrong episode. My apologies. What Lies Beneath. And we see that, and so she had that fear, and she had to confront it head on, and she finally does. So we've seen a lot of the hippogriffs, and we know about Silverstream's past. We don't know how close she is to Terramar. I think we probably have a sense of how close she is to Princess Skystar because they're very similar to each other. But I don't know really about her relationship with Terramar. So aside from that, we know a lot about Silverstream and the hippogriff. So I'll say she's fifth. So Sandbar we know the least about. Then I'll say Gallus, then Ocellus. I'm going to put Smolder at 4. And again, we know a lot about the Dragonlands. And we know, a lot in that regard about them, and because we've seen plenty of episodes involving the dragons, like Gauntlet of Fire, where we meet up with Ember, like what was the episode? Dragon Quest. We've been to the Dragonlands multiple times, so at least we know their culture and how most dragons behave. The thing we don't know, though, in relation to Smolder. And she mentioned, and of course she had a great episode in Moltdown where she was kind of being a mentor to Spike. Same thing with Father Knows Beast. She's kind of being that mentor figure to Spike in a way. And again, I put this on my wish list for season 9. I would love to find out at some point, maybe later in the season, if Smolder and Spike are actually related, or if Ember's related to them somehow. That would all be really cool if that were true. But I don't care how, brother, sister, cousin, I don't care. But it's like this, like aside from, and then she mentions that she has family, because she mentioned, her brother went through the same molting process, but once he had the smell, it was like, see ya. So we know she has family. But aside from that, we really don't know, again, about Smolder's past. We don't know, how she was brought up in the Dragonlands, what she accomplished there before she went out on her own. We don't know about any of that. We don't know about her, her parents, we don't, about her upbringing. We don't know any of that. So, and maybe her and Ocellus are right there kind of in the same boat. Like, we really don't know much about their past and their upbringing. So they're kind of maybe like a tie for third, kind of the same boat with each other. So yeah, it's pretty close, but I'd love to see. I want to learn more about these characters so much. I think that with Silverstream and Yona, we know a lot. In terms of the other 4, though, Sandbar, Gallus, Ocellus, and Smolder, we could definitely, want to learn a little bit more about those 4. So I really hope that, that season 9 is going to give us, a lot more of them. But if they don't, I don't think a spinoff would really be that bad of an idea, considering how popular they have become. I really do wish I would like to see that going forward. All right, couple other things, couple quick life updates. My church. As you guys know, and I tweet about this all the time. I don't like missing church. I really don't. I find it just very disheartening that I do. But the only reasons that I ever do are either I'm sick, weather related, or there's another reason that's completely out of left field. And the last few weeks here with this rotten weather and the snow that has come on back-to-back Saturdays, or actually back-to-back Saturdays, and I think about it, I think it's 3 straight weeks we've had snow on a Saturday. The roads have just been junk. The cold doesn't help. I actually had a cold in early January for 2 weeks, so that was a pain. So yeah, I have missed the last few weeks, and it's been tough. I've had to get the word from TBN. I've had to get it from my devotions and my readings. I've had to get it in different ways during that time to keep ingrained. And I do throughout the week, but even on Sunday, I have to get it some other way. So because of mainly the rotten weather conditions outside. Indiana winter, and the funny thing is with it this year, it was so nice November, December, and it's like, wow, it's winter's not going to suck after all. But then January comes, all of a sudden, hey, here's your winter. Yeah, here's our winter, and it sucks, but or blows, but anyway, So yeah, I've just been unfortunate that I missed the last couple weeks, but it is what it is. But it's been tough the last few weeks to see my church's messenger, because I'm on worship team there at Church of the Heartland, and it's been tough to see the banter going on between everybody, and they're being petty and fighting over something as small as what day worship team practice is. And it's kind of hard for them to decide because they have to find a day that works for everybody. It's all I can't do Tuesday, I can't do Wednesday, he or she, I can't do Friday. And it's like, my goodness, are we not going to find a compromise that fits everybody here? Is it like, my goodness? And then what they decided eventually was, they all agreed on Thursday to do it. But for me, I won't be able to make it tomorrow night because I close at work, so I won't be able to make practice tomorrow. But I did say, I said, okay, as long as I have a set list, as long as I know what I'm singing, I'll practice throughout the week and go from there, and I'll be ready for Sunday. So I got the list. I'm going to start practicing here later as the week goes on. So I'll have an idea what I'm singing. It's just a matter of preparation. But the thing that I'm lately asking myself and going in prayer about and that kind of thing is, how long do I give myself? How long do I put up with that? Because, and I tweeted this too, I'm never going to find the perfect church because there is no such thing. I know this. But by the same token, a Christian should never feel hurt, alone, or intimidated in God's house. They shouldn't. And I have had that in all my experiences. And it just it gets to a point where not only do you feel uncomfortable walking into that building and then sitting with these people, but by the same token, it's just like, your chance for growth is being stopped by that. Your chance for, for improvement, for growth, for strength, it's being hindered. It's being completely blocked by that. It's, you're trying to move to get stronger and climb up the ladder in growth, and bam, here's a hindrance, and it's not, can't go around it, can't go through it. It's kind of like that old tale in school, we can't go around it, can't go through it, can't go under it. It's blocking you every which way. Kind of sounds like the wall that Trump wants to build. You can't navigate it. So I've really been giving it some thought lately. I don't want to, feel like I'm a free agent again. I don't want to leave again and feel like I'm, church hopping. I don't want to do that. But it's like, I have to ask myself, when is enough enough? And that's the question I always have to ask myself. When does it get to the point where I feel like my growth is being hindered, When do I feel like I don't feel the love that I once did? When do I get those feelings again of this isn't right for me? It's just not, it's a feeling of just not being right. And when I had that feeling at Faith Covenant in Monticello, I left. When I had that feeling at Revolution here in Logansport, I left. It's not quite there yet with Church of the Heartland, but I will say that it's getting incrementally close. And if it ever gets to that point, I'll know. And I will then make a move right away. I've been actually looking and actually got suggested of a church here in Logansport, actually right downtown, actually not very far from my house, Vineyard, that does very, very good from what I hear. So who knows if it ever gets to that point where I don't feel right, then that's when I'll make the move. So yeah, it could be changing. It might not. We'll see what happens. I want to give at least Church of the Heartland a couple more months because I've been going there since October or September, October, pretty close around Halloween time. And this is just started up now. I want to give it maybe till like March or April. If nothing really changes, if the drama keeps continuing, if the tension keeps continuing, if the intimidation keeps continuing, if stuff like that keeps happening, then I got to make a move. So I will obviously keep updates on that through Twitter for sure, and see what happens. So time will tell. Time will tell. For now, I love what I'm doing at Church of the Heartland. I love the fact that I'm on worship team there, and love that I'm doing that and serving God in that capacity because I enjoy doing it. I love worship. I really do. I really love it. I love to sing. I love what I do up there. But it shouldn't come at the cost of, not feeling love from Christian brothers and sisters, not feeling right, not feeling, feeling more tension and drama than anything. That's not Christian love. That's not the love that Jesus showed in the Bible. That's not what Christians should come to expect. So it's just a matter of, am I going to make, how long do I give this? I'm going to give it a couple months. And if it continues and just doesn't show any signs of getting better and continues to be a hindrance to my Christian growth, then I'm going to make a switch. So that's where I'm at on that. I had to do some repairs in this winter weather. Speaking of fixes and changes and whatnot, I had to do some repair work in this rotten weather. Actually, a couple days ago, my screen door in the back where the laundry room is at was letting in so much of a draft. It was actually just letting in a lot of air, and I don't know if it was just not sealed right somewhere or what, and the latch wasn't working either. It would actually somehow open up all the other doors. Like it would open the back, it would open the other back door, it would open them all. And so that's, because I came home one night and actually it was all open. So I'm like, okay, you know what? This is going to end now. It gets to a point with me where I'm like, okay, A, I can't have this room cold because I do my laundry in this room. And B, I don't want someone to have easy access to that and come into my house. So I went to town one night after it was Sunday night, actually, when I got off work. I decided, you know what? Yeah, it's unbearably cold outside, but you know what? I'm going to do some repair work because that's what I can do around here as the landlord. I'm going to do a nice little repair work on this door. So it had to go. It had to go bye-bye. So I grabbed the screwdriver, I grabbed the flashlight, I went around the back, and I just went to town on that thing. It was coming off. OFF off, coming off. I was not going to mess around with that door. It was done. So I went to town on it. Once I got this, I mean, some of the screws, guys, were hard to get off because they were so rusted. That door was clearly ancient. So with the latch not working with that, I just say, you know what, I'm just gonna take it off. So I unscrewed it, and then the screws I couldn't get, I pounded at, I hacked at, I knocked at it, kicked at it, you name it. That door was coming off. So much after that, I gave it a big old, as soon as I got it off the hinge and the frame, I'm like, bam, down to the ground, blow you. And I didn't say blow you, I said something else. But that is not nice for TV, or live video. So yeah, so that door, there you go. Oh, that door is out of there. And thankfully, again, ever since I put the door, took the route to the garage, and actually ever since, nothing's happened ever since. I actually put some door stops in front of the current door, make sure it was, again, locked, latched, everything, which it is. So it hasn't opened up since. So clearly the screen door was the problem. So I eliminate problems and I find solutions. I know sometimes it may not seem the best on the surface, but if it gets the job done, that's what's important. So there you go. All right, one more story, one more thing to share in this episode real quick, because I know I got the game starting up here at 8 o'clock. I'm watching the Lightning game, obviously, with the Penguins tonight. One more quick thing. Again, with the All-Star game and everything, and me tweeting about that and doing the commentary and everything in the stream, that was awesome with the skills competition, everything. Well, next year in 2020, the NHL All-Star Weekend is coming to St. Louis, Missouri. And actually, from where I'm at here, that's not a bad drive. That's about actually the drive, I mean, maybe a little bit longer, but the drive to, when Matt and I went to Nashville 3 years ago for Fanfare, it's kind of about the same distance. So St. Louis from here, it's only about a 5-hour drive. So, and I need 4 more mascots to sign my mascot book, and it's actually in this drawer. I buried amongst the trees. Of course, when they came out with this book, when Holly Preston came out with this book, there weren't all the mascots in it. But yeah, this was the book actually I got in Nashville. And at the time this came out, Chance wasn't around yet from the Vegas Golden Knights. Hunter wasn't around from the Edmonton Oilers yet, nor was Gritty from the Flyers. So even though I don't like him. And Sparky was from the Islanders, was just being brought back at the time, so I didn't get a picture with him or an autograph. So I was bummed about that. So I have some unfinished business. I have 4 autographs to get for a complete collection, and I need pictures with a lot of them. I only got pictures in Nashville with 10 of them. So that means I have 19 more to get. So I have a lot before I have a complete collection. Plus, it's always nice to see him. So we are hoping that by this time next year in 2020, myself, Nate, Matt, and Sarah can all attend Fanfare in St. Louis. Now, we don't stick around, of course, for the actual skills competition or the actual game, because that costs a lot of money. The tickets usually always bought up for that by the time that happens. So that's always it's a bit of a camp, but it's just it's a financial thing. So but we are at least going to try to attend Fanfare again, because Matt and I had such a blast doing it 3 years ago. It is so much fun to be a part of that camaraderie, that excitement. There's so many different cool things you can do, different stations, different events. There's there's a taste testing thing. There was different things. I want to get my picture taken with a cup, but I don't know if that's a pay thing or a special event or what have you. But that would be really cool. Of course, seeing these guys is the highlight, of course, for me, which is just awesome. So, you know, I really, you know, that's, the fact that I have no words. I'm that passionate about mascots. I mean, that's how much I enjoy these guys. The fact that I've nearly met now 50 in my life, nearly all of them from the NHL. So probably half take up that number. So if I met 49 in my life, I follow 130 on Twitter. And actually today, on this day, and I tweeted about this too tonight, marks kind of a big day in mascot history for me, because 4 years ago on this day, January 30th, 2015, the first mascot I ever liked, Boomer from the Pacers, came to Logansport as part of Military Appreciation Night. He was there, put on a great dunk show. He was, you know, doing autographs for everybody. You know, was interacting with the crowd. I even got a shirt from him directly. It was awesome. It was one of those nights I will not forget. That the autograph still hangs on my wall. And it was mission accomplished. I've been trying for years to get a picture with Boomer. I've been trying for years, literally, like through different experiences, like Purdue games and Pacer games and other high school games. I've been trying for years, and it eluded me. But if I figured that night, if I can not get it done in Logansport, it wasn't going to happen. It wasn't to be. So I finally got it then. And then thankfully, you know, then this past year, November of 2018, I got a picture of Boomer on actual Pacer game night. So that was awesome. So, and the rest is history. And ever since then, I've been a big supporter and follower of mascots because of that one night. So yeah, I look forward to it. So when I saw that it was in St. Louis, I'm like, oh, well, that's not too far. So we're going to try to make it happen. We're going to try to make it happen in 2020. I'm very much looking forward to it, very, very much. And hopefully we can make that happen. I have a lot of, like I said, this is a big year of 2019. I have a lot of plans for this year, a lot of big events coming up. Again, with the Super Bowl, with the Super Bowl party in February. March is going to be a big month. March is going to be, of course, the Sarah's first Pacer games in March with the Orlando Magic, with myself, Nate, and Sarah. March Madness, of course. I want to make a trip up to the Mascot Hall of Fame up in March when it opens to everybody. I know that the first few months they mentioned when I got the email from them that it's open to VIPs from like when it opened in December up till February, but then they'll open it to everybody up in March. So I want to get up there, up to Whiting, Indiana in March. I cannot believe the Mascot Hall of Fame is in my home state. How fitting is that? And I'm such a diehard mascot fan. And, hey, the Mascot Hall of Fame is not very far from you. So I want to check that out for sure. Then, of course, Winnie City in April. And then, then when summer comes around, if we can make it happen, TrotCon in July. The Mascot Pee-wee game, sure will be this summer. And hopefully, I have some friends attend that with me, including my buddy Carlos from Seattle. He might come to that and All-Star Weekend, so that'd be cool if I met him there too. And then, of course, the events in the fall back to Sycamore football. So there's just so much in store for this year. So it's going to be a great year, even with this cold snap right now. It's going to be a good year. And then, of course, we got Season 9 coming up in MLP this year as well. So a lot of exciting things coming up, guys. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I appreciate all the support you guys give. All the views, the subscribers I gained, the subscribers I gained from the All-Star Weekend video. Thank you so much for that support. I appreciate it very, very much. I'm almost to 50 subscribers, so that's really cool. So thank you guys so much for that as well. Give the video a thumbs up if you like the content that you hear in these videos. There'll be another stream this week, Friday night. We'll be Tracking the Madness Episode 2. My second bracket projection for this year will be out then. Obviously, because I've been tracking the games all week long since the first bracket came out, so a lot has changed, a lot has shifted around. Some teams really starting to separate themselves from the pack, others starting to fall down a little bit. So that will be on Friday night, probably 7 o'clock Eastern time. So make sure you tune in for that as well. But for tonight, if you are in the Polar Vortex, please stay warm. Please Please again keep everything in line. Keep your pets keep your pets safe. Check on your loved ones. Check on the elderly if you have to. If you don't have heat, find a shelter. Stay warm. We'll get through this. We'll get through this together. So just look out for each other. That's the big thing. Just look out for each other as we get through this for the next couple days. I'm Spiky Dash. God bless all of you and have an amazing, amazing night. And I will see you on Friday for Tracking the Madness, episode 2. Good night. God bless.